Palestinian imam Abdullah Azzam frequently travels all over the world with the apparent support of the CIA. In an article dated April 16, 2002, Slate will write, quote, Azzam trotted the globe during the 1980s to promote the Afghan jihad against the Soviets. By the time of his death in 1989, he had recruited between 16 and 20,000 Mujahedeen from 20 countries to Afghanistan, visited 50 American cities to advance his cause, and dispatched acolytes to spread the gospel in 26 U.S. states, not to mention across the Middle East and Europe, end quote. The same article will call him the Lenin of international jihad, noting that he didn't invent his movement's ideas, but he furthered them and put them into practice around the world. At the time, the United States is supporting the Afghans fighting the Soviets, and it will later be alleged that the CIA supported Azzam as part of this effort. Barnett Rubin, a Columbia University professor and senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, will claim in 1995 that sources told him that Azzam was enlisted by the CIA to help unite the fractious Afghan rebel groups. Rubin would claim that Azzam was considered a prime asset because of his close connections to the Muslim Brotherhood, Saudi intelligence, and the Muslim World League. But Azzam made no secret of his desire for a no-compromise jihad to conquer the entire world. In 1988 in New Jersey, he would later be heard as saying, quote, blood and martyrdom are the only way to create a Muslim society, and that he wanted to ignite the spark that may one day burn Western interests all over the world, end quote. During this time, he is frequently accompanied on these U.S. lecture tours by El Said Nosser and Clement Rodney Hamptonell, both of whom will be convicted later of attacks inside the United States. Council on American Islamic Relations Executive Director Nahad Awad is a leader in the Islamic Association for Palestine at this time. Islamic Society of North America affiliates such as the IAP and the Muslim Arab Youth Association would host Abdullah Azzam and arrange his visits to Islamic centers throughout the United States. Also during this time, the Boston Globe, in an article dated June 21st, 1995, will state that throughout the 1980s as well, another radical fundamentalist known to the intelligence community as the Blind Sheikh, also on a terrorist watch list, Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman of Egypt, was a spiritual leader of the CIA-backed Mujahedeen. The Boston Globe will later report that in the late 1980s in Peshawar, Pakistan, Abdul Rahman became involved with the U.S. and Pakistani intelligence officials who were orchestrating the Afghan war. 60 or so CIA and Special Forces officers based there in Pakistan considered Rahman a valuable assets. According to one of them, they overlooked his anti-Western message and incitement to holy war because they wanted him to help unify the Afghan Mujahedeen groups, most notably two Afghan warlords, Gulbuddin Hekmatyar and Abdul Rasul Sayyaf, who were under the CIA-backed program Operation Cyclone, getting untold tens of millions, weapons, and training also from the Pakistan ISI.